Okay, wala na tayo muna lupang hinirang, mahinang-mahinang internet, no? Okay, sorry po. Ito na, baka pwede na. Ayan. Okay, ang gandang bata po mag-awit po ng lupang hinirang, no? Okay, damit po ng combination po ng flag ng Republika ng Pilipinas, no? Okay, sige po.
Ang programang Station Opinion Balita at iba pa ay tumatalakay sa mga isyu pang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Mapapolitika, mapaopinyon, mapakomentaryo at balita, ang programa ito ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan, at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, ang time check natin ay ganun pa rin ang boses ko ay 17 minutos po pasado alas 10 na, no? Okay, 24 ng Oktubre 2027. 24? 2024. Bakit napunta sa 27? Binabasa ko na nga napunta pa roon sa 27, no? Okay, araw ng Huwebes ang programa natin ngayon, no? Okay, bati tayo. Okay, magandang umaga sa inyo. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, sa mga kaibigan natin. Okay, yung hindi bumitaw sa programa natin. Ayan po mga suki, mga kababayan. Okay, ayusin po natin ang camera, no? Mainit ang camera, no? Mainit ang camera, no? Sige, adjust natin. So, yan po mga suki, mga kababayan. Siyempre, wala naman tayo pupuntahan kundi dito rin sa Consolidated News natin every now and then, every umaga, every evening. Ay dito pa rin tayo sa ating tahanan po ng ADLSN TV News Online, no? Okay, siyempre pa rin sa programa pa rin ng Halo-Halo Special, Opinion, Balita at iba pa. Karamay po serbisyo publiko tinig ng mamamayan at sa kaugnayan sa mamamayan, and then pag-aruga. Suklian po pag-aruga sa mamamayan, no? Okay. So, anong unahin natin? Ilang araw ng 13 days na lang election na sa Amerika, no? Okay, sabi po ni presidential itong the next President of the United States of America, itong si Kamala Harris. Okay, former President Donald Trump refused to have a debate with her, no? Ayaw na po ni Donald Trump mag-debate. Okay, hanggang Nobyembre 5, hanggang election day, no? Hindi na po pumayag si Donald Trump magkipag-debate po kay Kamala Harris. Ayan. Alam niya, okay, mga bote siya, okay, pagbigan pa niya ang debate. So, yan. So, 13 days na lang. Okay, 13 days to go. And then, election na po sa Amerika, mga so. Pakinggan natin ang latest po. Okay, boses po ni Kamala Harris, no? Okay, ito pong unahin natin. Kahit ano pa mapunta sa balita, basta unahin natin itong si Kamala Harris, no? Ayan. Let's hear her. Okay.
Y'all might have seen that just last night, Donald Trump officially ruled out any more debates. Now, I think it's a disservice to the voters. I also think it's a pretty weak move.
Okay, sinabit na siya niyan sa mga voters kasi ayaw na ng former President Donald Trump to have a debate with Kamala Harris, no? So, she submitted, okay, to the voters, ang decision po ng America, the decision of America sa November 5, or November 5, it depends on the voters. So, yan po ang sinasabi po ni Kamala Harris, no? Go ahead, Kamala Harris.
But even if he will not debate, the contrast in this election is already clear. This election is about two very different visions for our nation. Y'all might have seen that just last night, Donald Trump officially ruled out any more debates. Now, I think it's a disservice to the voters. I also think it's a pretty weak move. But even if he will not debate, the contrast in this election is already clear. This election is about two very different visions for our nation. Y'all might have seen that just last night, Donald Trump officially ruled out any more debates. Now, I think
Supposedly, meron pa sila last debate, no? Okay, between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. But Donald Trump did not answer and he refused to have a debate with Kamala Harris, no? Okay, so wala tayong magawa. Ayan, wala tayong magawa, no?
it's a disservice to the voters. I also think it's a pretty weak move. But even if he will not debate, the contrast in this election is already clear. This election is about two very different visions for our nation. Y'all might have seen that.
Okay. So, yan na lang, inaantay na lang ng Amerika, inaantay na lang ng mga American itong November 5, no? So, wala tayong magawa. Okay, President Donald Trump, he refused, okay, to have a debate with Kamala Harris, no? So, yan po ang latest, okay, politika sa Amerika, mga suki, no? Okay. So, tingnan na natin ang resulta. Okay, sa November 5, no? Pero, Kamala Harris, okay, post-election and after election, on the day of election and after election, you must be prepared. Okay, fund, logistic, everything, you must be prepared, Kamala Harris, no? Okay. Election is only once time. Okay, once time. Okay, to make everything, okay, to become a winner on the election day. Ayan po. Kasi wala na, hindi na wala mong balikan, no? Ayan nga, pag election day talagang i-pull mo ang kagaling mo mag-election kasi hindi na bumalik yon. And then, ang objective mo, ang goal mo, manalo ka, hindi ka matatalo po sa election, no? Kaya yung mga statement po sa politika hindi pwede negative, no? Okay, basta manalo, manalo. Iyan po ang statement sa politika, no? Hindi ka pwede magbigay ng mga negative post, negative voice. Basta sulong panalo po mga kababayan, na. Nakikita nyo ay ang magbigay ng statement sa politika, puro panalo po. Walang talo po mga suki. Okay, kailangan po ay positive. Okay, ang pag-election mga suki, no? Kailangan puro positive, hindi walang negative na, baka matalo ko, baka ganun. Hindi po pwede mga suki, no? Basta sa election, statement sa election, dapat always ay panalo ka, no? Naalala ko yung boss ko dati sa election, sa governor ng Basilan dati. Okay, mumurahin ka talaga niya pag sabi ka mga negative statement during election time, mga campaign time, magmura yon. Okay, dati boss namin po sa Basilan mga suki, no? Magmura, mumurahin ka talaga, tawagin ka, huwag ka magsabi ng ganyan. Okay, sa maraming tao. Ganon po ang estilo. Okay, pag election, no? Tatawagin ka. Bakit ka magsabi ganon? Okay, huwag ka magsabi talaga negative. Doon ko nakuha po ang technique pag election, hindi ka pwede magsabi po ng negative. Doon po sa dating boss namin po dyan sa Basilan, no? Ayan. Hindi po pwede magsabi-sabi ka ng negative tungkol sa election. Always talagang manalo ka. Ayan. Sige po.
Ang programa ng Special Opinion Balita at iba pa ay tumatalakay sa mga isyu pang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Mapapolitika, mapaopinyon, mapakomentaryo at balita, ang programa ito ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan, at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, so ganun po mag-election, no? Walang negative statement, basta mag-election. Ayan. Palakpakan natin si Kamala Harris, no? Okay, magbalitang hangin tayo. Sandali lang, hanapin kong balitang hangin, no?
Y'all might have seen that just last night,
Okay, sunod po ang balitang hangin, the Heat BRICS Summit, no? Okay, kunti lang mga 27 minutos lang. Okay, at saka 39 na segundo mga kababayan, no? Ito muna unahin ko. Napakainit pagtanggap po ng BRICS Summit. Okay, sa Kazan. Okay, Russia mga suki, no?
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, we are going to the heat of the BRICS Summit in Russia. Okay, pakinggan natin ito. Watch this video. Okay.
A push for peace and reforms in the international financial system. We will take a look at the BRICS Kazan Declaration. Hello, I'm Arnold Snyder in this.
A major, a flat major, B major.
On the second day of the BRICS summit in Russia, the leaders of developing countries issued the Kazan Declaration. It outlines common goals on global issues with more cooperation to de-escalate conflicts and work on creating a more equitable international financial system. Chinese President Xi Jinping stressed the importance of the bloc in ensuring world peace. We begin with this report from CGTN's Zhao Yunfei.
A new founding photo with leaders representing the world's top emerging economies. In the first summit after BRICS welcomed 5 new members, President Xi Jinping called on all parties to make the right choices and promote world peace.
The more tumultuous our times become, the more we must stand firm at the forefront, exhibiting tenacity, demonstrating the audacity to pioneer, and displaying the wisdom to adapt, so as to jointly open up a new chapter to the high-quality development of the greater BRICS cooperation.
President Xi stressed 5 key areas of development under the BRICS, including cooperation in security, innovation, sustainable development.
Okay, 5 po ang agenda nila, no? 5 ang agenda nila dito sa BRICS, no? Okay. Kasama ang innovation. Ano pa ba yun? Basta 5 yung agenda nila dito sa BRICS, mga suki, no? Ayan.
Global governance and people-to-people exchanges.
Today we saw Xi Jinping. He is a great man. The Chinese leader's participation is very important. China plays a very important role in BRICS.
China has been playing an active role in recruiting new members to BRICS. And now, with a greater BRICS, President Xi Jinping said China is committed to collaborating with other parties to kickstart a new era for the global south. The BRICS member countries now share 45% of the world's total population, and its GDP has increased to around.
Okay, can you imagine yung block na ito, yung BRICS block na ito? Okay, 45% of ng world population ay miyembro po ng BRICS, mga suki, no? So 45 ilan sa US, sa West ang mga kababayan, 55. So kunti na lang tabla po mga kababayan ang BRICS at saka Western Bloc, mga kababayan, no? 45% of the world population consider a BRICS bloc nation. Ayan. So, klaro, no? Okay, so, okay, ang agenda nila, hindi po mag-dominate ang itong US dollar currency, no? Sa buong mundo. Gumawa sila ng paraan para mabalanse po ang ekonomiya ng mundo, no? Okay, hindi dikta, hindi dominated po ng Western Bloc, mga kababayan, no? Sinasabi lang natin ang totoo. Wala tayong purpose dito, magsasabi lang ng totoo sa news, mga suki, no? Okay, ganun po. Kasi lahat tayo makinabang. Makinabang tayo sa Western Bloc, makinabang tayo sa BRICS Bloc, nation, mga suki, no? So 45% of the world population, okay, within BRIC bloc nations. Okay. Sige, go ahead.
35%, President Xi said, in the evolution of the international situation. China calls on all parties to contribute to the high-quality development of BRICS cooperation and push forward for a community with a shared future for mankind. Zhao Yunfei, CGTN, Kazan.
Earlier this year, 4 countries joined the BRICS: the United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, Iran, and Egypt. Egypt's president this Wednesday said that BRICS is set to strengthen a multipolar international system. Earlier, I spoke with Nabil Fahmy.
Strengthen a multipolar system.
I started by asking him
Okay,
about the
strengthen a multipolar system. Ibig sabihin, okay, malakas na samahan ito, mga kababayan, no?
Be that politics, economics, trade, so having an increased number of groupings that are of economic background, not only of the industrialized states like G7 and so on, is important. That's the first priority. The second priority is what the President referred to. Developing countries, if you want, in a late state of development. We all live on one planet, but the industrialized world were able to move more quickly at the beginning, and now are a step or two ahead. The reality is we all now face the same global problems, including pandemics, climate change, and you name it. And when you come and tell the world to have an equitable share in the solution, that's not fair, because the problem was created by the developed world, and it involves also the developing world. I understand, and the President understands, that we all need to cooperate. We can't ignore the issue of climate change. That's why he was referring to the fact that it's important to find financing to help the developing countries work with the rest of the world and take compatible steps that serve everybody, but also respond to their own development needs.
BRICS is sometimes seen as an alternative bloc to what we call the West. You know, those countries that have set the international agenda until the last decade or so. They've been doing so since the end of World War II. How important is it for BRICS to act as a kind of balance to other more Western-focused groups, like, say, for instance, the G7? And does it give the South, the global South, a bigger voice?
You know, we hear this accusation frequently, but why wasn't the G7 considered to be anti-South or anti-developing countries? Why is it when we do something, it's considered to be anti-West? We're not looking for anti-anybody group. We're trying to work together as much as we can and to ensure that we and others have multiple options. That's the real project. There will be some points of tension here and there, and that consequently will lead us to expedite certain things. And I'll give you an example of this. There's no question that there are international concerns about the application of financial sanctions. Even though you're not a sanctioned country, it makes the process of dealing with others much more cumbersome and much more difficult. So again, this is more opportunity for us to be better partners in the global environment. It's not anti-anybody, but yes, it is an attempt to have a more equitable share and a fair balance sheet.
Right, now presume a country like Egypt doesn't want to have to be put into the situation where it has to choose sides.
No, we will not choose sides. We will deal with everybody. We will call on everybody to apply the same principles and the same standards in international relations, whichever the issue or the event. And I refer here to Ukraine and Gaza as two examples where the same principles should be applied. But that being said, no, we are not anti-anybody. We are pro-Egypt and we want to work with everybody in accordance with international law.
Right, and looking at international financial architecture, you talked about it a moment ago. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion on the use of digital currencies, local currencies, to settle trade deals between BRICS member states. Now, during his speech, President Sisi underscored the importance of moving towards this goal, to move away from one currency in particular, the United States dollar. How important is that for developing countries?
Well, let me put it this way. On the one hand, the reality is
in nature,
is led by
in
the
nature,
American and the Chinese.
Chinese in nature,
They are interdependent. Very
female
different.
voice, male voice, lolly voice,
These two countries
monster
lead the
voice.
economies, but most of the trade is happening in dollars. So moving away from one currency will take a long time. And if you do it suddenly, you will have struggle.
Okay, I just want to comment, no? I just want to comment the Western sanction, if there is a crisis, it's no more, no? Because of this BRICS. Because of this BRICS bloc nation. Wala na, hindi na po mahirap na yung sanction, hindi na po magtatagumpay. Western sanction will never be succeed anymore, no? Okay. No more, no more, no more. Okay, because of this BRICS, okay, bloc nation, sanction will never be succeed anymore. Okay. Yan lang ang comment ko mga suki, no? Sa lakas ng grupo ito, and then isa-sanction mo pa, bawi din po sa mga katulong po ng BRICS nation, no? Okay, kaya nga, yung sanction sa Iran, sanction to Russia, it's no more. It's no more. Yan ang masasabi ko po dito sa araw na ito, no? Yung mga sanction, magpahirap sa Western nation, kung meron mga bansa ay sinasanction nila, wala na. Okay. Patas po ang labanan dito pang ekonomiya ng daigdig, mga suki, no? Can you imagine 45% of the world population ay parte po ng BRICS. Kaya itong mga sanction, okay, wala na. Wala nang epekto. Sige po. Yan mga pang-ipit po, pang-gipit po ng Western Bloc, mga suki. Lalo itong mga G7. Okay. Pag merong kasalanan yung mga bansa, sinasanction po. Iniipit. Wala na. Because of this BRICS. Ayan. Sige po.
That will have to be very consequential for everybody. That being said, why is it important if a country like my own is trading with a small and medium-sized African country that our transactions go through New York? Doesn't make sense. It adds cost, it adds time, and it may end up creating or getting caught again in the sanction atmosphere that is caused by conflicts that have nothing to do with my country or the other country involved. So, yes, we want more options, not alternate options.
Okay, and my second comment on this day, okay, I wish that United Nations after BRICS, after BRICS organization completed, United Nations will be strong enough, okay, to rule international conflict, no? Okay, sana madagdagan po ang lakas ng UN, hindi kampi sa kabila, hindi kampi sa West. Dapat po balanse po ang pagkampi po ng United Nations after the completion po of BRICS to become organized nation. Okay. Yan ang comment ko, no? Okay, hindi po ang UN ay hawak po na sa ilong ng mga Western power po, mga suki, no? Ayan. Sige po.
This BRICS summit is taking place at a time of rising global tensions. The Chinese President Xi Jinping, he addressed leaders and called on the BRICS members to act as guardians of common security and work on the de-escalation of the Ukraine crisis as soon as possible. Brazil and China have proposed a peace plan to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict that was presented to the United Nations. Do you in the future see more political cooperation, perhaps diplomatic cooperation among BRICS states?
I would hope so. It won't necessarily be unanimous among all of them on all the issues. But yes, I think medium-sized states should find vehicles for their voices to be heard more and more. And I also believe that as we complain legitimately that the world order was established by the post-World War II victors, and that order has changed now, the reality has changed. As we complain about that, it's important for us to put thoughts on the table. Now, in the case of BRICS, we have two major powers as well in the group, but why not? We will also be talking to others outside of BRICS, including the U.S., with our ideas. But I support intensive diplomacy in this very difficult, dangerous time of acute, direct conflict between major players, be that in Ukraine or in Gaza and Lebanon.
Right, now if we look at trade among BRICS states, and we just look at trade between Egypt and BRICS countries during the first 8 months of 2024, it increased 15%, that's compared to the same period in 2023. Those figures from the Egyptian Statistics Agency. What is the potential for increased trade among BRICS countries?
It's an excellent question, and the answer really is just follow the growth of the BRICS economies. The second largest economy in the world is China. The country talked about to be the upcoming major economic power is India. They're both there. The largest economies in Africa are Egypt and South Africa. They're both there. And of course, we have Brazil and Argentina in Latin America. And I'm not going to skip Russia, but I'm just giving you examples of those who weren't at the top of the list economically in the past. They're all in BRICS. So I think that's very important. I would argue also that if you look at the Middle East Economic Register or Digest, you will see that the Middle East is trading more and more with China. So the trend is there.
Minister, thanks so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
To continue,
It's my pleasure.
in our panel from Beijing.
Thank you for joining us. It's my pleasure.
Founder and president of the Center for China and Globalization and former counselor for the China State Council. Here in our studio, Anton Penioshin is a professor of history at American University, and from Sao Paulo, Gilson Schwartz is a...
Okay, Tatay Digong, tama ba ang English ko, Tatay Digong? Okay, paki-check yung English ko, Tatay Digong, no? Okay. Baka tama naman ang mga English natin paminsan-minsan, no? Okay. Sige. So, continue natin itong BRICS, kalahati na. Okay, isang professor naman ang sinasalang dito po sa BRICS. Ayan. Mga akadim po ang, alam mo itong mga akadim, sa buong mundo, ayan, mga matatalino po. Oh, magaling nang magbunganga ba, yung mga akadim. Ayan, magaling po, kasi palabasa. Okay. So, pag may mga ganito mahalagang mga akademyan mabigay ng mga kuro-kuro mga opinion, no? Kaya nga, dapat ay hindi natin pabayaan po mga akademya, no? Okay. Mahalaga ang mga utak nila. Katulad nila Professor Muhammad Marandi. Okay. Tapos ng Western nation, and then kinuha po ng Iran para mag-analyze po ng mga situation nila, no? So, akademyan. Isang professor po mga suki, no? Ayan. So, pangarap ko ay magturo, hindi ako makapagturo, mga kababayan, no? Ayan, hindi ako makapagturo. Ayan, sige.
Professor of Economics at the University of Sao Paulo. Welcome to all of you. One way out, let me start with you. In Beijing, the Chinese President Xi Jinping, he addressed leaders in Russia at BRICS on Wednesday. He called for greater cooperation among member states, expansion of the group, and strengthening of the new development bank. This was an important BRICS meeting. As our reporter pointed out, this is a group that represents 45% of the world's population, 35% of its GDP. This is the new expanded BRICS that we are talking about. What do you think of the group's priorities, particularly those outlined by President Xi?
Yes, thank you. I think this BRICS summit happened currently is really very significant because it's the first time that we had a greater BRICS now. It has doubled almost since last time, since last year. I think this represents a new global platform, complementary platform actually, to really to represent the emerging countries and developing countries' interests. And it's so
Okay. Ang mag-lead ng BRICS itong China, no? Second pinakamalakas na ekonomiya sa mundo, itong China, Egypt, at saka South Africa, no? Okay, mga malaking bansa po mga suki. Egypt, malakas din. Okay, South Africa, Russia po mga kababayan, Brazil. Okay, itong mga bansang superstar po dito sa BRICS ito. Ayan. Okay, Indonesia, mag-join nata ng BRICS. Ayan. Sige po.
important that developing countries are really tired of those geopolitical polarization, and also we're seeing constant conflicts in Europe and the Middle East, and then we're getting unstable war, and that's really all the emerging countries, developing countries are worried about. And here is a new platform where they are promoting economic globalization, promoting the development, promoting the green development, and also digital development and peace. So, where is that there is an addition to what existing system in the world. We're not just getting 80 years of Bretton Woods system, but that system probably needs to be enhanced. And I think it's actually getting 15 years of this stuff. And this system is really great to
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Basically, this time there's so much that can be done, and also this BRICS platform can be treated as an incubation or experiment platform, so that there will be more testing of the payment system, digital in development, and of course work out some common denominators, like alternative payment system and things like that,
Right.
so that we can supplementary and strengthen the multipolar world where we're living in.
Gilton Schwartz, one of the recurring things we've heard come out of this BRICS summit, we've heard it from the leaders at the summit, we've heard it from their spokespeople as well as analysts, is the need for a new international financial system. President Xi called on BRICS members to take the lead in promoting what he called a better alignment of the international financial system. And we're already seeing that in BRICS. As I mentioned earlier on, many BRICS countries now conduct trade among themselves in their local currencies or in digital currencies. How significant is that? Where do you see it going?
Well, I think that we can learn from the Bretton Woods experience. That means that a financial system, especially in the international order, really depends on direct investment flows. That's the heart of the matter. It's not an accountancy issue. It's not just a matter of issuing new currencies or even creating new banks. All these are necessary steps, but what's really fundamental.
Can you imagine na lahat po mga tatalino mga akademiya po magsama-sama rito sa mag-discuss, magbigay ng mga kuro-kuro, magbigay ng opinion dito sa BRICS. Additional factor yan na para magtagumpay itong BRICS nito. Itong mga taga-pagbalita ito, galing ito sa mga Al Jazeera. Okay? Parang galing pang news ito, galing po kay yung diyan po nagtrabaho isang taon po si Martin Andanar, no? Si Martin Andanar natin. Okay, CGN News mga suki, no? Okay. CGTN pala. Okay, CGTN News. Okay, Amerika mga suki, no? Okay. So, sige po, sige. Go ahead.
Here, that we need a new horizon for investments like the Silk Road. Big projects that are global in perspective, and then the investment, direct investment that actually changes the economic structure, that will bring sound innovations for the financial system. Otherwise, it's just like bubbles. Again, people hoping for something in the long term, but what we really need now is a global pact for new investment, especially using South-to-South relationships.
Right, there's been one other development, Gelson, and that is, we're hearing these discussions on reducing reliance on the United States dollar as a reserve currency. Here's the Russian finance minister, Anton Silivanov, talking about that. Let's watch.
We see that the payment system has recently become politicized. Western countries restrict payments and money transfers through banks. Therefore, in order to ensure the independence and stability of our trade relations, there is a question of creating our own settlement system.
So looking at that, how realistic is that in the short term, and what do you think is the ultimate goal?
Well, I think that reforming the monetary system requires political wisdom and political strength. Unfortunately, we cannot do it under present circumstances because of the very intense conflicts and, of course, the opposition, the contradictory relationship that, on the one hand, they kept the link, on the other hand, they have to with the U.S. and China. I mean, this is structural. It's very well noted by our Egyptian speaker just a few moments ago. So we need a new political pact for peaceful investment, for a new economic structure. It's really risky to move on with new financial institutions if the security issue that was mentioned by the president, by the Chinese president, if the security issue is not solved.
Right.
It's not really a purely financial matter. It involves geopolitical issues. And what's important, people-to-people relationship. We are now witnessing an unprecedented wave of migrants, refugees. So we have to build for all these people, especially children, people that are suffering with bombardments, with wars. So we need a new hope in terms of direct investment and a geopolitical balance. That's what I think China's bringing to the table.
Yeah, in fact,
threats, targets related to
President Xi has consistently President Xi has consistently emphasized the importance of people-to-people exchanges. Well, let's bring it to the studio, to Anton. Anton, great to see you here in person. In my discussion there, my conversation with the former Egyptian foreign minister, I asked him about BRICS being seen as a counter to Western dominance on the international, drawing up the international agenda. The director of the Carnegie Russia-Eurasia Center in Berlin, Alexander Ruev, says BRICS is the most potent representative structure of this new world order. How do you see it?
Well, I agree with Alexander. He's right. It is a very potent symbol, and on the graph that plots the world's path to multipolarity, there are already many points, and Kazan will be a fatter dot rather than the smaller ones that preceded it. But he's right in the sense that BRICS is the outline of the coming of multipolarity. It's going to be an institution that is going to slowly give shape to the new nodes of this non-Western but alternative system. So we're looking literally at the birth of a new world order where we're at a moment where we're touching a world that came before and a world is approaching. Periods of transition in history are best romanticized after they've passed, but when you're living through them, they're full of uncertainty and instability. That's what we're going through. But a lot of what Gilson actually just mentioned, I saw reflected in the Kazan Declaration that was issued today. It's a fairly long document.
Right.
It is both detailed in some places, but also sufficiently broad and conceptual in others, both in terms of financial restructuring, but also the importance of people contacts, cultural communication, and an entire panoply of things that every single government deals with. So yes, BRICS is emerging. It is now becoming a reality, and it is becoming a very serious alternative to the West's global hegemony. And you can tell by the long line of nations that are standing, waiting for partnership and ultimately membership.
Right. And one of the key issues that BRICS has been looking at, as we've talked about, is an alternative currency for trade, an alternative reserve currency. And I'm wondering to what extent, that sort of focus on an alternative currency was sharpened quite a lot in the aftermath of the sanctions that was imposed against Russia.
Right. So, but let's. You're bringing up a very important aspect, Alan. So, let's separate a few things here, because I get the sense that they're often conflated, especially in Western reports, and I'm sure we'll see this after the summit ends. I expect to see gleeful articles about the failure to agree on
Okay,
the
kain tayo no.
BRICS
Kain tayo.
currency. But that goal was never set by
Kain
the
tayo ng
BRICS.
sabaw.
Ultimately, it will probably come to that. But what the BRICS are talking about now, and I just looked at the document today,
Oh, sarap
they're
sabaw
using
ng
the term
manok.
interbank cooperation mechanism. That term will probably change 10 times in the next 5 years. The point is that they are first trying to establish a bank-to-bank linkage, a link, so that central banks can talk to each other between Beijing and, let's say, Cairo directly without going through New York or London for that matter, mostly New York. Moscow can speak to New Delhi, so on and so forth. That's going to be the first step. Vladimir Putin already said right before the summit began that a new currency is not really on the table right now. Ultimately, it probably will become so. So these are very slow, deliberate steps. No one's out to break their own necks by charging against windmills and sort of creating pie-in-the-sky goals and then failing to achieve them, and then, having their hands fall down with desperation. This is a slow process. Just as a
Sarap ng sabaw.
comparison. Look, what we know as the EU today, with its own currency, started out as the European Coal and Steel Community back in 1952. It was only in 40 years later that the EU came about, and then slowly it's been introducing its currency, which is not, by the way, shared by all of its members to this day. This is a slow, gradual process. What we're seeing is the beginning, and the real novelty here is that if 5 or 6 years ago someone asked either of us, how is de-dollarization coming, people would laugh us out of the studio. No one's laughing anymore. So this is irreversible, but it will be a slow process.
Right. Well, we are, as the Egyptian Foreign Minister pointed out, BRICS is not an anti-West bloc. It's not an adversarial group. In fact, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he said he wants to describe BRICS as not being anti-West, but being non-West, as he put it. How do you see the BRICS relationship with the Western world unfolding?
Well, I think this is a really a great platform. Actually, it's a strong add-on to the current global order, basically. I mean, we are talking about we're getting to multipolar world, and this represents a strong pole. I mean, that's a fact. And also, it's first time, for a country of 10, basically the largest emerging economy in the world to get to.
Gusto lang natin ipaliwanag, no, sa hindi maka-catch up ito, no. Ang BRICS daw, sabi ng isang professor na yon, isang academe na yon, hindi po anti-West. BRICS is not anti-West, no. Okay, ang purpose ay para sa global economy, mga suki, no. Para maayos bang hindi imbalance ang ekonomiya po ng mundo, mga suki, no? Kasi kung ganito lang tayo ay dominated by Western bloc, katulad ng G7, magkaroon po ng imbalance of economy, no? Sa buong mundo. So sinabi po ng mag-analyze yun, ang BRICS is not anti-West. It's not anti-West, no? Okay. In short, hindi po kontra sa Western nation ang BRICS, mga suki. No? Ang purpose ng BRICS, kaya binuo ito. Okay, maliwanag? Kaya magparinig ako kasi hindi naman anti-West. Okay, hindi naman anti-Western nation. Kaya nga, pinalabas natin po dito dahil po dito sa programa natin, no? Ayan.
Ang programa ng Special Opinion Balita at iba pa ay tumatalakay sa mga isu pang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Mapapolitika, mapaopinyon, mapakomentaryo at balita, ang programa ito ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan, at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
So, Kamala Harris is very clear. BRICS is not anti-West, no? Okay, former President Barack Obama, okay, I said BRICS is not anti-West, no? Okay, it's not anti-West. So, madali ito pag halimbawa ay maging presidente na si Kamala Harris, madali na po mga suki, no? So, it's not anti-West ang BRICS. Ayan. Kaya pala magbiro po ay ini-endorse po ni Vladimir Putin itong si Kamala Harris, no? Okay. Vladimir Putin endorsing. Okay, I don't know if it is joke or serious. Okay, Kamala Harris, no? Okay. So, BRICS is not anti-West. Ayan. In short.
Ang programa ng Special Opinion Balita at iba pa ay tumatalakay sa mga isu pang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Mapapolitika, mapaopinyon, mapakomentaryo at balita, ang programa ito ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan, at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
And then talk about their future, talk about their planning. It actually makes positive contribution to the world development, and also it's actually give people some new hope. It's like we're seeing a lot of things going on the geopolitical front, but we're seeing a lot of lies. For example, in that now.
Right.
They go and expanded. They have AUKUS, they have Quad, they have Camp David, you have many.
Right.
Those circles, but then there's no economic circle. There's no economic club. I mean, BRICS represent a huge economic club, a huge growth, and also this platform is calling for development.
Yeah.
It's really
Okay. We are rapidly running out of time. I want to get round to the other two guests very quickly. Anton, briefly, the Chinese President Xi Jinping said the group should seek de-escalation in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, if we look at BRICS, it's a very diverse group. I mean, it's politically diverse, it's ideologically diverse, it's geographically diverse, it's literally all over the world. I mean, could you see it come together as a diplomatic force?
As a diplomatic force, probably eventually, yes. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is an economic forum. It is informal. It has no headquarters, no permanent staff. This is a place for people to meet. The Russians, by the way, again, the document today was remarkably, how should I put it, diplomatic on the issue of Ukraine. In favoring a diplomatic solution.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. But the Russians have welcomed all participation in mediating this war.
Okay, Gelson Schwartz, very quickly, I've just got about a minute left. BRICS brings together some of the world's biggest energy producers and consumers. Now, Saudi Arabia was issued an invitation to join BRICS. It's not responded to that yet. We'll probably soon hear from Saudi Arabia. But if and when Saudi Arabia does become a member, then BRICS members will account for 43% of the world's output of crude oil. China, of course, is one of the biggest consumers of crude oil. How significant is that?
I think this is a key element. Energy and the environment, as well as technologies to deal with the environment, to build up a new development model that is not as destructive as we have seen in the Western models. So energy-saving technologies, environmental-friendly, that means also people-friendly technologies are the hope for a new model, development model, sustainability, and then geopolitical security.
Okay, and that's where we have to leave it. Thank you to all of you for being with us. That's it for this edition of The Heat. I'm Arnold Kleider in Washington, D.C.
Okay, taga Washington DC din maka-control ng balita, mga communication, mga suki, no? The Heat. Okay, The Heat. Ang magpondo po ng CGTN is funded with the whole or in part by the Chinese government. Wikipedia, no? So magpondo ng news ito. Okay, ang CGTN, disclaimer lang natin, no? CGTN America, okay, is funded by the government, the whole or in part, okay, by the Chinese government, no? So ganun po karami ng pera ng Chinese government, no? Okay, I hope ADLSN TV News Online will be funded also by the Chinese government, no? Joke lang yung mga suki, no? Okay, joke lang. Eh, kaya po ng ng ADLSN TV News Online, kahit hindi maghingi ng pondo, mga suki, no? Kayang-kaya ng ADLSN TV News Online. Ayan. Okay, marami ng property po ang ADLSN TV News Online, no? Ayan. Sige po. Ayan.
Ang programa ng Special Opinion Balita at iba pa ay tumatalakay sa mga isyu pang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Mapapolitika, mapaopinyon, mapakomentaryo at balita, ang programa ito ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan, at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, magbalitang hangin tayo. Last na lang po, balitang hangin, no? Ayan. Go ahead.
Isang maulang umaga po sa ating lahat. Ako si Benison Estarela. Meron muli tayong update regarding pa rin sa ating monitor na si Severe Tropical Storm Christine with internationally natrami.
Oh, sarap ng ginger at saka itong kalamansi, no? Okay, maalis na sana yung ubo ko.
Severe Tropical Storm Christine sa vicinity ng bayan ng Maconacon sa Isabela ngayong alas 4 po ng madaling
Sarap
araw.
talaga.
Naglayin tong hangin na 95 kilometers per hour pa rin malapit yung sa kanyang sentro at tumaas yung mga pagbugso hanggang 160 kilometers per hour. Bahagyang bumabaga naman sa ngayon at 15 kph west-northwest at inaasang tanaw rin po ang malaking bahagi ng Northern Luzon sa mga susunod na oras. Base po sa ating data satellite animation, ito na yung peak na magkakaroon tayo ng malalakas na hangin at malakas na ulan na siyang direktang epekto nitong si Bagyong Christine lalo na sa may Northern and Central Luzon. Habang kitang-kita po dito sa ating animation, itong makapal na kumpul ng ulap sa may bahagi ng Mimaropa and Calabarzon, associated po ito sa trough o yung outer rain bands nitong si Bagyong Christine. At meron din tayong namamataan sa may timog silangang bahagi po ng bagyo, hindi naman nakaka-apekto sa ating bansa, outer rain bands din po yan. Habang sa malayong parte ng ating kalupaan, ay meron pong panibagong low pressure area na nabuo. Dito po sa may silangan ng Mindanao, nasa almost 2,400 kilometers away po. Within the next 24 hours, mataas ang chance na ito magiging isang tropical depression or mahinang bagyo. But within the next 3 days po, malayo pa rin ito sa ating kalupaan at walang inaasahang direktang epekto sa ating bansa. Pero patuloy yung ating magiging monitoring for this low pressure area dahil posible rin itong pumasok ng ating far early next week. Ito po yung latest na pag-asa regarding kay Bagyong Christine. Inaasahang kikilos na po pakaliwa
kaliwa or westward in general ang nasabing bagyo simula po ngayong madaling araw hanggang mamayang gabi. At maaari mag-emerge po sa ating West Philippine Sea, magsabit mamayang gabi. Simula naman mamayang gabi hanggang bukas ay nasa may West Philippine Sea na ito, dunti-unting lalayo sa ating kalupaan at posibleng lumabas ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility Friday afternoon. Mananatili pa rin po ito as a severe tropical storm o yung may katamtamang lakas ng hangin in terms of lakas ng isang bagyo. Subalit kung mapapansin po nila, habang lumalayo sa ating kalupaan, pagsapit po ng Sunday or Monday, babagal ng bagyo at maaaring pumihit pagsapit po ng Monday or Tuesday bagyo po ng timog na bahagi ng China. Kaya patuloy po natin itong monitor dahil posibleng maka-influensya pa rin ang nasabing bagyong Christine sa magiging panahon lalo na sa western seaboards or western coast ng ating bansa. And please take note po, itong si Bagyong Christine ay naglandfall kaninang 12:30 in the morning dito po sa bayan ng Divilacan sa Isabela. Kitang-kita rin sa ating latest track yung malawak pa rin po na coverage o yung malalakas na hangin na dala nitong si Bagyong Christine. Ang radius po niya around 700 to 750 kilometers mula doon sa kanyang sentro. So yung kanyang kabong lawak or diameter ay nasa 1,400 to 1,500 kilometers. Sakop pa rin ng malalakas na hangin at ulan ang hilagang bahagi ng Visayas. Sa ngayon, nakataas pa rin po ang tropical cyclone wind signal number 3 doon sa mga posibleng daanan ng sentro nitong si Bagyong Christine. Kabilang na dyan ang southern portion of Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Kalinga, Mountain Province, and Ifugao. Signal number 3 rin po sa southern portion of Abra, buong Benguet, and the northern and central portions of Aurora. Signal number 3 rin po sa hilagang bahagi ng Nueva Ecija, dito sa northern Tarlac, northern Zambales, buong Pangasinan, signal number 3, buong La Union, at sa central and southern portions of Ilocos Sur. So posibleng makaranas sila ng hanggang 95 kilometers per hour na lakas ng hangin. Signal number 2 naman po sa may Ilocos Norte, rest of Ilocos Sur, and rest of Abra, ganyan sa Apayao, nandito ng bahagi ng Cagayan, kabilang ang Babuyan Islands, rest of Aurora, rest of Nueva Ecija, buong Bulacan, signal number 2, ganyan din ang rest of Tarlac, buong Pampanga, rest of Zambales, Bataan, and Metro Manila, signal number 2 po sa ngayon. Signal number 2 din sa may Cavite, Laguna, Rizal, buong Batangas, at sa hilagang parte at central portion of Quezon, kabilang ang Polillo Islands at maging sa Lubang Islands, signal number 2. Kapag meron tayong signals number 2 or number 3, may kalakasan po yung hangin, posible itong makasira ng mga pananim at maliliit po ng mga puno at posible rin na makasira po ng mga mahihirang istruktura, lalo na po yung yari sa pawid or sa kahoy. Meron naman tayong signal number 1 or strong winds pa rin po dito sa timog na bahagi ng bansa, apart from Batanes, rest of Quezon, rest of Occidental Mindoro, buong Oriental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, northern portion of mainland Palawan, kabilang na po ang mga isla ng Cuyo and Calamian, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, signal number 1, Catanduanes, Albay, Sorsogon, Masbate, kabilang ang Burias and Igao Islands. Signal number 1 din po sa malaking bahagi ng Visayas, kabilang ng Aklan, Capiz, Antique, Iloilo, Guimaras, northern portion of Negros Occidental, northern portion of Cebu, kabilang ng Bantayan Islands. At signal number 1 din po sa may northern Samar, Biliran, northern portion of eastern Samar, at northern portion of Leyte. Ito naman po yung mararanasan ng dami ng ulan, yung makakaroon po ng mga heavy rainfall sa susunod po na 2 araw. Please take note, meron pa rin tayo hanggang torrential rains or lubhang maraming ulan na babagsak ngayong araw sa may Pangasinan, Zambales, La Union, gayon din ang Apayao, Mountain Province, Kalinga, Ifugao, Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya at lalawigan po ng Aurora. Posible tayo magtaas ng mga red or orange rainfall warnings po sa susunod na 24 oras dito sa mga lugar na to. Mataas ang chance ng mga banta ng baha at pag-uulan pa. Samantala, meron naman tayong heavy to intense na paulan ngayong araw or 100 to 200 millimeters na dami ng ulan over Ilocos Region, Calabarzon, Occidental Mindoro, at nandito ng bahagi pa ng Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Region, and Central Luzon. Meron naman tayong moderate to heavy na paulan ngayon or hanggang 100 millimeters. Marami pa rin po ito dito sa Metro Manila, Oriental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, Calamian Islands, Bicol Region, Negros Occidental, and Western Visayas. ito yung mga lugar na magkakaroon ng matitinding mga pag-ulan habang tumatawid po itong si Bagyong Christine. At yung pa rin mga cloud clusters po doon sa ilalim ng bagyo na nakita natin, magpapaulan din po doon sa mga nabanggit na lugar sa may southern Luzon naman. Samantala, by Friday, October 25, asahan pa rin ng heavy to intense sa mga paulan sa may Pangasinan, Zambales, and La Union habang nasa may West Philippine Sea ang Bagyong Christine, habang moderate to heavy na mga paulan naman ang mararanasan sa natitirang bahagi pa ng Ilocos Region, Cordillera Region, and Bataan. Ang natitirang bahagi naman ng Luzon, yung mga hindi rin natin nabanggit dito sa Visayas, ang pinagbabahagi ng Zamboanga Peninsula, Misamis Occidental and Lanao provinces, asahan sa susunod na 2 araw ang kalat-kalat na ulan and thunderstorms dahil dito sa trough or outer portion itong si Bagyong Christine, kaya mag-ingat din po sa mga banta ng baha at landslides. And specifically doon sa ating mga nabanggit na lugar, mag-ingat pa rin po sa mga banta ng baha sa mga low-lying areas at maging mga hindi masyadong binabaha. Mataas din ang chance na magkakaroon ng pagragasan ng ating mga ilog, lalo na yung mga nanggagaling po sa upstreams. Kapag matindi ang ulan doon, pagsapit downstream, bigla pong bibilis ang daloy ng tubig. At mataas din ang chance ng banta ng baha doon po sa may areas, sa may Cordillera Region, sa mga pulo-bundok na lugar, somewhere dito sa may central and southern Luzon, may chance po ng landslides. Kaya lagi po makipag-coordinate sa ating mga local chief executives for possible suspension of work or classes at nakipag-coordinate din sa inyong mga local disaster risk reduction and management offices for possible evacuation din. Samantala, bukod dun sa malakas na hangin at malakas po na ulan, meron din mga pagbugso ng hangin dun sa mga malayo din sa bagyo sa may timog na bahagi ng ating bansa. May Maropa ngayong araw, may mga possible gustiness po tayo. Bicol Region, Visayas, Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, hanggang dito sa may Zamboanga del Norte, Lanao del Sur, Northern Mindanao, Dinagat Islands, Surigao del Norte, Davao del Sur, and Davao Oriental. Habang bukas, meron pa rin mga pagbugso ng hangin in many areas, kabilang ng Mimaropa, Bicol, Western Visayas, Negros Occidental, kaya din ang Siquijor, Bohol, Southern Leyte, hanggang dito sa may Zamboanga del Norte, Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, Camiguin, and Dinagat Islands. Pagdating naman po sa mga tataas na mga alon, meron pa rin tayong gale warning or hanggang 8.5 meters. Ito po ay halos 3 palapag ng gusaling taas sa mga pag-alon dito sa seaboards po of Northern and Central Luzon habang binabagtas ni Bagyong Christine itong mga nabanggit natin na lugar. Kabilang na dyan ang baybayin ng Batanes, Cagayan, Isabela, pababa ng Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, and Pangasinan, hanggang dito sa may Aurora, Zambales, Bataan, and Lubang Island, matataas ang mga pag-alon. Meron din po tayong gale warning sa Quezon. Buong Quezon po yan, kabilang Polillo, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, Metro Manila, matataas din ang halon hanggang 6 meters or nasa 2 palapag po yan ng gusali sa mas malayong Pampang, kayo din sa may Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Mainland, Occidental Mindoro, at sa Northern Coast po, Palawan, kabilang ng mga isla ng Calamian, Puyo, and Cagayan City. At meron din po tayong gale warning hanggang 4.5 meters naman po mula sa 1.5 palapag ng gusali in other seaboards of Southern Luzon and Visayas. We're talking of Albay, Sorsogon, Oriental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, Masbate, Samar, Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, Biliran, Leyte, dito sa kabilang parte, Negros Oriental, Negros Occidental, Baybayin ng Timaras, Iloilo, Capiz, Aklan, Antique, hanggang dito po sa may Bohol and Cebu matataas ang mga pag-alon. Yung mga may tropical cyclone wind signals, automatically suspended na po ang sea travels. Pero kapag walang signals at meron tayong gale warning, meron chance po na pagbabawalan yung maliliit na sasakyang pandagat at lagi yung malalaking sasakyang pandagat kapag nakikita na tataas yung mga pag-alon. Ito po ay mangyayari sa susunod na 24 oras. And speaking of alon, meron din po tayong daluyong ng bagyo or tinatawag natin na storm surge na hanggang 3 metro dun sa mga mismong dadaanan po nitong si Bagyong Christine sa mga